In this episode, we sit down with Ben Bamforth, entrepreneur, business and gym owner. On the outside looking in, Ben is a happy-go-lucky, successful guy doing extremely well for himself. But at what cost? This episode is not to be missed. I hope you enjoy it. Ben, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
So you've got the unit gym in Honley.
Yep.
The unit gym in Saddleworth. You've just opened up the recovery centre. Where did the entrepreneurial spirit come from?
I'd probably say my dad. My mum forced it upon me because she obviously watched my dad grow as a businessman. Quite toxic though, I'd say, because I've got big shoes to fill. Do you know what I mean? So does it help me when people tell me stories about my dad? Probably not, because it keeps me going in like an unhealthy manner. Do you know what I mean? So my dad was a very, very successful business person, came from nothing. My mum was from like a relatively rough background. I think there were like 9 kids in house and all the rest of it. So both these people sprung upon all this money and success and wealth and stuff like that. So people will approach me, tell me all these legendary stories about my dad, like, oh my God, he could make money from everything, and he had all these different businesses. He were a stock car world champion. He owned scrap yards. He had stadiums, so Bradford Bull Stadium, Bellevue Aces Stadium, so that was Manchester at the time. He then went to demolition. He did property. He was the master entrepreneur. Do you know what I mean? Like, and all these stories that I get told, like I say, fuel my fire for sure, because he died when I was a youngster. I think I was 12 at the time, and when he passed, my mum basically said, "Look, your dad's dead now. You need to follow in his footsteps," sort of thing. And I've had plenty of therapy over the last God knows how many years, and a lot of people say that you either go in completely the same path as your parents, or you go completely polar opposite. So if my dad was super successful, I actually had the chance to be an absolute drip. Do you know what I mean? But I think I've gone straight down that I have to be successful because I want to do him proud. I know he'd be proud of me, but I always just kind of want to work harder and harder. Do you know what I mean?
Feel like you're not quite doing enough sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. Like, honestly, I am the most healthy person ever, because I'm just riddled with like health risks, just because I put so much pressure on myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've literally just been for a blood test because I'm pretty much having like liver failure at the moment because of the amount of drugs I'm on. Do you know what I mean? Medication. I've got about 6 different drugs in the system, and one's clearly disagreed with me. So yeah, I've had a bit of a health scare recently. I had a bit of a prostate cancer scare recently. They seem to think it's stress-induced, which I don't know if it's possible or not, but so I'm on a load of meds for that, and then they've given me more medication for blood pressure, stress and all the rest of it. And I think it's been like the ultimate concoction of shit in a nutshell. Yeah. And my body's just gone, nah, not a fan of this, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think my liver's seen better days at the moment.
And would you say that's related back to, just going back to it's similar to myself with my brother. Losing my brother was the motivation behind starting Tom's Talks. But then I've always got a negative insecurity inside of me, which is am I doing it just to prove people that I'm enough, or am I doing it because I want to make a difference? And I feel like the more percentage of that is because I want to make a difference. But then the other side of it is it a little driving force of I don't quite feel enough yet. So there's that motivation to do more and more and more, and it's just like, well, when is enough? When are you happy?
Exactly. Yeah, I think I keep trying to do the next thing, and I'm like, for what? First of all, we're in the UK, we can't even pay ourselves. So am I doing it for everyone else, or am I doing it for myself? Yeah, I don't know. I ask myself that question a lot, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Have you ever had you mentioned about therapy. Have you ever had a conversation with your mum about these sorts of things?
So the one really useful thing I got from therapy, was I've never had the pat on the back from my mum. Do you know what I mean? And they said, maybe that's what you need. Do you know what I mean? So there was a practice of like bottling up your feelings and giving them back to your parents and be like, this is for you, this doesn't belong for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's a tough one, man. It really is.
What is your relationship like with your mum?
Not the best. From a young age, I found out that money was the absolute devil. When my dad passed, there was quite a large inheritance. I had another brother, so I've got a proper brother and then I've got a half brother. I was close to him growing up. He was at my hospital all the time with my dad, because I was in and out of hospital with my dad for years, missed a lot of school. And he was in the, intensive care ward all the time with us, his family was. And as soon as my dad passed, I don't think he was happy with the amount of money that got in the will, but I think my dad basically had already given him enough and he didn't want to give him any. I think my mum had the conversation, the difficult one, at the time, and said, look, Stuart, I think you're going to cause me a lot of drama if you don't give him some. Oh, give him this amount. And it clearly wasn't enough. So unfortunately, my mum lost her, not only did she lose my dad, but she lost her dad in the same hospital, months after. And she started fighting it, but then I think she just ended up giving him some money. But as soon as that cheque was paid, never saw him again.
Right.
So honestly, I've seen the amount of chaos and drama that money causes it's just eye-watering. Do you know what I mean? I've had friends sue me. I've had all sorts, and it's always down to money. So I've got a really bad relationship with money. Yeah, because I've seen it firsthand. Do you know what I mean? I think it's awful. Honestly, I genuinely. That's why I give a lot to charity. To be fair, I think, oh, whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's probably quite a selfish thing, because I'm probably looking for like a different high at this stage of my life.
Different validation.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Like if I get depressed, down or whatever, I might go to like a disabled centre or something with a car or something, and just seeing them people appreciate your time, like, oh, it's another level, man. Do you know what I mean? So, I think I would like to say I'm quite a nice person. I try my very best to be, but I think people take the piss when you are a nice person. Do you know what I mean? Because they see it as weakness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
They're ready to stamp all over you.
Just a quick one before we get back to the episode. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you love this podcast and you love what we're doing, then a quick and easy way to support it would be to hit the subscribe button. Thanks very much. Now let's get back to the episode.
I think it's interesting when you talk about the person that you are today and the events that have happened in your life leading up to who you are and how you are and why you are the way that you are. And I think there is always two sides to people, isn't there? And I think for me, there's a side of people to you that I don't think a lot of people see, because you're this,
Happy
businessman, entrepreneur. You've always got a smile on your face, potentially a front. But there's another side to it that you obviously don't show. You've obviously opened up about you went for therapy. You've got these health scares. You lost your dad at 12. Your relationship with your mum's not particularly the best.
Just family in general, to be fair. I don't really get on with my brother either, because we're just too different. Same again, it's a lot of it's money.
Yeah. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because that's mental health. When we talk about mental health, it's the other side of people that people don't see. And I can imagine there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of things that might go on in your life that people don't see. Yeah,
well, I think it bores people. I think people want entertaining. Do you know what I mean? I think the reason I was really naughty as a kid, but it's all for attention. It's always been attention. People are like, why have you done these crazy TV shows and why have you done that? Attention. I was just obsessed with attention as a kid, because I didn't get it. I didn't get the attention I needed at the time when my dad died, for example, because my mum was broken. So who was going to give me the attention? So I'd be the class clown, and I'd get kicked out of all these different schools, and I get shipped to boarding school in the end, because I don't think my mum could actually cope. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think I'll ever get over watching my dad die. Do you know what I mean? Because he was my absolute hero. Do you know what I mean? And I remember the phone call I made coming back from hospital. I said to my mum, can I ring my friend? And I remember ringing this one person, just crying on phone, because I wasn't getting the attention I needed from my family. But understandably, looking back at it now, I think, God, my mum must have been absolutely destroyed. Do you know what I mean? So no wonder she didn't cope. We literally watched him die multiple times. Do you know what I mean? Like, died, then he came back to life because he was on a ventilator. I remember the nurses coming in and saying, like, you're going to have to make the decision to switch this thing off. And at the time I was like, don't you fucking dare kill my dad, sort of thing. But yeah, the amount of times I was in like intensive care and they'd be like, today's the day. And then another year would go by and I was like in and out of hospital. I missed so much school just watching him literally die. And the occasional the occasional time he'd get better, come out and I'd be like, oh, I've got my dad back. And he'd be straight back in again. But I think he was one of these that lived how he wanted to live, you know, drinking booze, cigars, all that sort of stuff. So I've seen what that does to people as well, because my mum hit the bottle big time after that as well. And growing up, I had to, you know, put her to bed, make sure she didn't die. Do you know what I mean? Like it was definitely not a good childhood, man. Do you know what I mean? For
How
sure.
was it that your dad passed away, if you don't mind?
So multiple of things. He was an alcoholic big time. He smashed the booze, honestly, man. The amount of times he'd be at work and he'd have already had 4 cans of special brew and a bottle of whiskey or something, and he'd like drive home and I'd be sat on his lap trying to drive the car back home at 10. Do you know what I mean? Like it were bad, honestly. It was. Cigars. So it was cancer and multiple other things at the time. He got gangrene in his leg as well, so that had to be amputated. I think it was just too much for his body to take. Honestly, it was literally like a miracle. The fact that he was still even alive, but I think it was a bit of a blessing because he was such a powerful man and well respected. I don't think he'd have wanted to be in wheelchair bound with one leg. Do you know what I mean? So,
where do you think? So you mentioned about obviously you like to drink, and you know people just like to drink because they like to drink, which is fair enough. But do you think there was where do you think his drive came from?
Honestly, no idea.
Was your grandma and granddad anywhere like?
I don't think so. I think his dad was like a farmer. It's a bugger because my mum, I always ask my mum various questions, and I think it's because it was so upsetting to her, the loss of him. She just refuses to speak about it unless she's had a drink. Do you know what I mean? Right. So getting it out of her is a bit of a bugger. But no, I think he was just entrepreneurial. Like I say, I got all sorts of stories. I was at a show once and a guy came up to me, he's like, bloody hell, your dad. He said, once I was working for him in yard and then this massive Arctic lorry comes and it were a load of black BT telephones. And he came and he undid it with a screwdriver and he took all plastic out, got all this copper out. He says, right, plastic in that bin, copper in that one. Off you go. Do you know what I mean? Like, leave us to this job. And he says he made a fortune. He made hundreds of thousands of pounds. He was always like a visionary and this. So the amount of them stories you get and you're like, shit, I need to step it up here. So I think people think I'm joking when I say I do like 4 a.m. till 11 at night, 7 days a week. It's so unhealthy how much I work. Do you know what I mean? This is an holiday for me. Having an hour actually sat talking to someone's incredible. Do you know what I mean? So
where did it start then for you with losing your dad at 12? Obviously going through this traumatic childhood, the relationships, the school. When did you decide to yourself that enough was enough and you were going to start?
I'm going to be successful.
I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to, make my dad proud. When was that day?
I think I had to be a bit more mature to realise. You know what I mean? When I was messing about at college and all the rest of it after I've come out of boarding school, I was a bit overweight. And I lost some weight and I got a compliment off a girl and that kind of triggered me, slingshotted me into
validation.
It slingshotted me into the health industry. So I got a personal trainer, lost loads of weight. I got approached by a modelling agency and I started modelling, and from fat kid to model, it was massive. So I was like in the newspaper at the time and all sorts. And then this personal trainer helped me. I thought, do you know what? I think I want to do that because I had this thing. I wanted to make people feel good. I've got this obsession with making people feel good because it makes me feel good. So as a result, if I'm miserable and this is making me happy, that's obviously the way to go. Do you know what I mean? So started personal training, did really, really well out of that. At the same time, because I was an attention seeker, started doing TV work. Hollyoaks did Take Me Out. That Take Me Out went crazy for my personal training career. It absolutely went bonkers, man. As soon as that aired, that show, I had a massive waiting list of people that wanted to use my services.
How long ago was that?
Oh God, Take Me Out must have been like 20 odd, maybe. Yeah,
I think you met your...
I met a girl on that at the time. Yeah,
it's
so
not the
not my current.
Now,
not my current wife, but no, I did meet a girl. When it came down to it, I switched off my girlfriend at the time and then went on a date with this other girl. And then when I came off stage, I was like, what have I done that for? I switched the blonde off. What have I done that for? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was good. I've got plenty of stories to tell from that side of things. But I think when I realised, and I started getting all these sort of stories, I realised how successful my dad was. Because you don't really know as a kid. You just think, oh, you've got like a famous dad. But then when you hear all these things and you think, how many businesses? Shit, I'm going to have to do this. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I had a choice in the matter. I had to be successful. Simple as that. There's no choice.
For who?
Well, I thought for my dad, for my family, but then as much as my mum would probably tell me she's proud of me, the amount of businesses I've done, she probably hasn't even been to. I've just set up a recovery centre she's not been. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of on my own sort of like little path. It's very lonely for sure. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like you're still seeking that validation from your mum almost.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Is it for me? Is it for my mum? Is my dad watching down on me?
I know
God
for me
knows.
personally, again, one of the driving forces behind Tom's Talks was, I was very fortunate to take over my dad's business. And my dad actually said to me once, he said, I just said to him, I'd just signed a client for the coaching who was paying me X amount. It was a decent amount of money. And my other brother was a little bit annoyed because he thought it would take away from this business. I was like, why does he get so annoyed? And my dad sort of said, it's because you're doing something on your own. And I know why you're doing it on your own, because you want to be able to say that you did something on your own and nobody else could take that away from you. You've done well with this business, but Tom's Talks is yours, you started it. I was like, I've never even thought about it that way. But when I do think about it, I'm almost doing it from a negative connotation. Like, I'm doing it because I want to prove to people that I can do it on my own, which is negative in a way, but positive because I am doing something for myself. But then there's the other side of it. I'm doing it, and the main motivation was just because I wanted to help people, like you said. So it's interesting where do the motivations come from in your life? Is it from a place of negativity, or is it a place from something positive?
Yeah, well, it's quite a negative thing watching anyone bloody die in it. Do you know what I mean? Especially when someone so close to you. But I'm definitely one of these people that is super, super stubborn. Like, I remember when I was setting up my first gym, I got to the stage.
Was that the unit in?
That was the Honley one.
What year was that?
Oh God, I've had it like just short of 10 years now. And I remember being in a boardroom at Town Dorset, the commercial property company. I was with my brother, I was with some top dogs, and we had whiteboard out, and they were like, this is when I'd already bought it. I'd bought an existing gym, and then I was going to rip it out and start again from scratch. They were like, this is how many members you need. This isn't going to work, just to let you know that. And I was a bit like, all right, okay. I tell you what, I'll prove you wrong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. For the first 3 years, I should have sold it 100% because it was killing me, man. I went from earning, all this money, personal training, like, 80 odd grand, to losing money for years, just being a stubborn little bastard, just trying to prove people wrong. Like, no, I'm the man, I'm going to do it. Do you know what I mean? And eventually I came up with a business model unlike any other. I focused more on the personal training aspect and hunting down the best trainers. No other gyms did that. I went door knocking, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? And eventually I made it work, and they were just in disbelief. But no one said, well done. They were just like, oh, right, all right, whatever. Do you know what I mean? So
when you say board of directors, what was
so, well, basically, my brother actually.
Is your brother older than you?
Yeah, he's older than me. He just got a load of top dogs to come in, like business mentors, to basically tell me to get out of it before I lose everything. Do you know what I mean? So I proved him wrong in the end.
Do you think that's why your relationship with your brother has been a bit...
I think my brother wanted to be like a father figure for some bizarre reason. I think he just kind of took that role.
How many years older is he than you?
38, 39-ish.
So
yeah, so
a few years older.
Yeah, so I think he's 4 or 5 years older, and I think he just kind of took that role upon himself.
I suppose that's natural though, in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. But sometimes I just want a fucking brother. Do you know what I mean? I just want a brother. I don't need just business. I'd quite like to go, you all right? Do you know what I mean? Not just talk. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Should we go for a drink? Should we go sit spa or something or whatever? Do you know what I mean? And never really had that, and that's something I'd love to have. I would. I'd absolutely love to have, because we don't even speak. Do you know what I mean? And we own businesses together, so it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I can, without saying too much, can resonate with that slightly. Yeah.
That's it, honestly.
What was the point with the unit in Honley then? So you were losing money for X amount of years. How many years was it until you started to break even?
2 years, end of second year, it started to break even. So I lost a lot of money in the first 2 years, but I went from doing really well by myself to then it was just a shitstorm, do you know what I mean? So yeah, and that honestly, I was a broken man there, because that was crazy hours. That was like 4 till 11 every day. If first business, if anyone was sick, you were there. You were cancelling all the holidays and all the rest of it. And I think people don't see that side of business at all. Do you know what I mean? And that made me poorly, man. I'd have to go home for like a nap in the middle of the day, and then I was taking like a shitload of energy drinks. That creates anxiety. They put me on sleeping pills because I couldn't sleep. I was just a chemical concoction of shit, do you know what I mean? But then I still had to put the brave face on, even though I was probably miserable as hell.
Did you say that you were depressed at that point?
Yeah, man, I've been, massively. But I'm one of these, like I say, I always want to make people smile. My other half says to me that, you're usually shit, sunshine and rainbows, but people, that's who's like destroyed you. Because I'd love to get back to the natural, just bounced off the walls, being an idiot, making people smile, do you know what I mean? But there's so many eyes on me, I can't be myself. You know, even in, oh God, that COVID when I got put in the newspaper.
What was that for?
Got put in the newspaper because I was in my garage talking about the investment I made in lockdown. Obviously, I paused all memberships. A lot of gyms didn't do that, but I thought, you know what, it's not really right taking people's money if it's closed. I know people would have supported me anyway, and people messaged me to say, you know, we're happy to support, but I thought, no, big gyms are doing it. I need to follow suit. So I paused all memberships and I spent a load of money. I went and painted the whole thing. I'm not joking you. Like, I'd close my eyes and I'd picture brush strokes because just painting all day, every day. Do you know what I mean? To make the place mega, I'd spent an absolute fortune.
How many months was it?
Oh,
Take me back to.
it was a long time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was at least. Was it like 6 months the gym was closed?
Easily, yeah,
A bit
easily.
longer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And
I
then
remember it wasn't it.
it opened for like a couple of weeks, and then we went back down
we
to a
went into
second
lockdown,
didn't we?
March 2020, and I'm sure it was like April the following year they finally opened the gyms back up.
Yeah, it was mad, honestly. So
It's crazy when you think about it. Like me, especially, like I did struggle with my mental health massively at one point, and I haven't struggled in particular since. But I know without the gym, I used to see me at the gym first thing every morning, and that's why, because I need that first thing. And I think back to those times of like, how did so many people get through that period without exercise, or more specifically a gym?
I get like a fake happiness from exercise, do you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? I get that high that counteracts the shitstorm that's going on in my life, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so out in lockdown.
Have you done the ice bath in there?
Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah, I do.
How do you use it for the, the physical benefits?
Yeah, physical. Not
Do you not get the high from it after?
I do a little bit, to be fair. I do when I do like the contrast therapy, especially. Lockdown, I spent a fortune spending a load of money on the gym, and I basically said, I hope to God this works out, and I hope to God people are needing the gym, you know, after lockdown. And then someone, supposedly a member, which was garbage, because supposedly this member cancelled, no one cancelled, so it was obviously fabricated, like all news is, basically got put on the front page of the Examiner saying that I'm going to benefit from people being fat after lockdown. I was like, no, that isn't what I said. I basically said, I've spent a load of money, I hope it bloody works. Do you know what I mean? I hope people want to come to the gym after lockdown, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm used to being thrown under the bus for sure, you know what I mean? But I suppose I say that I'm like immune to it, but I'm not. It hurts, man. It hurts, it fucking hurts.
I remember when I put the video on Instagram about Caroline Flack.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember if you commented or you messaged me saying, this resonates, because, words do hurt.
Honestly, mate, they do. As strong of a character as I am, I take everything so personally. And I do have to have a moment and go, no, that's someone having a bad time. Chill, relax, don't waste your energy. Do you know what I mean? Because, you're just left at the end of the day where you've just got no left. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, and I feel that as well. It's hard to, but, as human beings, we're naturally wired to focus on the negative, aren't we?
That's it.
You can have 100 good comments, but that one negative one's the ones that you focus on.
That's it.
It's just how we are as humans. We are designed and wired to survive, and by surviving, we focus on the negative, which is sad in a way. But
well, it's with the gyms, for example, like Saddle's got over 60.
With Saddleworth, sorry. Just to go back to the entrepreneurial side of things. So you set the unit up at what age?
Oh God, well, it was 10 years ago, so 24, I think it was.
So 24, you set the unit up. You had 2 years at a loss, and then you broke even.
Yeah.
So what year would have that been?
Oh God, now you're asking me without my phone.
The 24, 10 years ago, so that's 2014. You broke even 2017.
Yeah.
Where then did you decide that you wanted to open up the unit in Saddleworth?
Well, I did loads of other stuff before that, to be fair. I did prep kitchen. I set up the prep company. I then did trampoline park to go and help a friend out in Sheffield. Property stuff, residential property stuff. I'm really good with money, as in I earn, but then I save. I don't spend, because I'm a worthless piece of shit in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? So this is one thing that my other half absolutely hates me for. I would talk myself out of buying anything, man. I go to Zara, there'd be a 50 quid jacket. I'm like, I'm not worth it. My wife and the kids come first. Do you know what I mean? So that's one thing that I need to sort out.
Where does that come from?
No idea. I always think like, come on, Bamforth, you piece of shit, get going. Come on, you fat piece of shit. I've got such bad, like negative self-worth and self-talk, and it's horrendous. But that's kind of what gets me going, and I don't know why. I'm like, come on, you can work harder.
Coming from a place of negativity.
Big time. And that's one thing I do need to sort out. So yeah, I'd save all this money and I'd just reinvest in this like mad panic just to get as many businesses as possible. But then what I realised was going off the path, because my path really should be health and fitness. The prep company, we had someone in there that the chef just basically, let's say he was doing a few naughty things, so I sold out of that. It's still going, thank God. Trampoline park, I just didn't have enough help with that, so I sold that. Then yeah, I did Saddleworth Gym. So I think it took me a lot longer than I thought it should have done anyway. It must have been about 6-8 years after the first gym, but obviously COVID was in that, so it just kind of abolished all plans. But that was what probably broke me good and proper, that gym, because obviously when we set it up, we had some interesting individuals, or well, something bad happened basically, and before it,
what happened?
So before, literally 3 days before we're going to open, someone burnt it down.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had all this money in. My lesson learnt there was insure stuff properly, because it wasn't insured properly.
Really?
And I lost a lot of money, like a lot of money, eye-watering money. And yeah, so basically I had two people, petrol bomb it.
Wow.
And yeah, I remember that phone call. My business partner over there at the time, who owns the property, rang me in the morning, and my missus says, your phone's just been going off. At the time, I've just been building gym, so I'm broken. I'm already broken. I've already been cleaning. I've already been doing everything. I'm dead to the world, probably on a sleeping pill, antidepressants, whatever, zombified. And I look at my phone, I pick it up, and he's like, they've got us, mate. They've got us. The place has gone up. And I was like, the place has gone up? What do you mean? He's like, it's all on fire, mate. Sent me a picture and it was just all up in smokes. And I was like, oh my God. So I got over there and saw devastation, and I was like, holy shit. So now I'm having this, oh my God, who's going to come get me? Are they going to come get me personally? You know, are they going to come, you know, get my house, get my kids and all the rest of it, shit in my pants? Are they gangsters? Whatever. So that was an interesting time. But
do you know who did it then?
I'd been told many a times that it was a competitor who had done it, supposedly. God knows, whatever.
Why Saddleworth for that gym?
Well, that is where I started. It all started for me. So
Right.
personal training at the age of 18, I started in Saddleworth. So I was like the number one PT locally, you know, a bit like Greg in Huddersfield, you know what I mean? I was the guy. So I wanted to go back and I wanted to do it in Saddleworth, because that's where it all started for me from a personal training point of view. Okay. So yeah, this gym was obviously up in smokes, and I had the decision, right, are they going to come back and do it again? Am I going to be got personally if I continue it? And I thought, do you know what? I can't let them win.
No.
And I'm not going to do out stupid back. I'm just going to rise above it and just crack on. Do you know what I mean? So I think I've probably got some sort of like rubber poisoning or asbestos poisoning or something from that, you know, because I just went in full tilt, cleaning it, doing it all myself, working like an hooligan. We're all over at newspapers and stuff.
I remember seeing the video that you, I can't remember where I saw. I think it was either Instagram.
Yeah.
And you had the dust and the shit all over your face.
Oh mate, it was honestly mad. Like I've got that black shit still in my lungs, good and proper. Honestly, good and proper. I like cough it up in my sleep. But yeah, we just cracked on and thought, you know what, sack it. If they were going to come for me personally, they'd have done it when I'd been cleaning in there after, because it took a long time to clean that bloody place up. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, buy all the new equipment. We had to rip everything out again, jet wash it, dry it, start again, refloor it, man. And do you know what? Worst thing was, 2 days before, I was like, and the smoke detectors are going up, not like this place can set on fire, and then someone petrol bombs me, and I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't think that proper broke me, that. I was already like broken from setting it up, because it's so stressful setting up a new business, do you know what I mean? It's just this like one giant shitstorm of anxiety, do you know what I mean? And all this pressure that I put on myself. So yeah, when that happened, I was like, do I do it? Do I not do it?
Do you think at that point, going back to what you said earlier, do you think at setting up that second business, did you ever have a thought at that point thinking, am I doing this to prove people wrong? Or am I doing this
For myself.
because I want to set up a gym in this area?
I wanted to set up a gym in that area. Do you know what I mean?
So you had the passion to do that.
There especially, because I needed to. It was almost like I loved the people, because that's where I started, and I was like, I want the best gym, the best value for money around, boom, there, and that needs to be my flagship. Do
It
you
is
know
a
what I mean?
fantastic gym to be
Yeah,
fair.
you like it. Yeah. Well,
I went dinner at the weekend.
Yeah. Well, I can't pay myself from it, so I just have to buy kit. But think about it. Anyone signing up there, if they've signed up from when it first started at 35 quid, and I'm spending 10, 20 grand a month on new kit, the value is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I'm just piling it back in.
So how many months from when it got burnt down was it to open it up again?
I think it was like 3 or 4. My priority there was the trainers.
That's good, that.
Yeah.
Considering.
Well, I'd already got all these personal trainers. I think I had 8 personal trainers ready to rock and roll, and that's who I felt sorry for the most, because I was like, I need to at least do upstairs or whatever and just get them going, free rent, just crack on, because they already had clients ready to rock and roll. Do you know what I mean? So got that open. Got upstairs open, and then opened it up, and I had a massive support. I think a lot of people knew that there was some weird and wonderful behaviour going on there, as in like who did it.
Yeah.
So I did get a lot of like local support, and I think people did feel sorry for me. Obviously, you're going to get the negative side as well. People said it was an insurance job. Tell you what, if it's an insurance job, we lost out big time, because it definitely wasn't an insurance job. Imagine setting fire to your own business. That was a hard pill to swallow, that one. It was.
What did you learn from that?
My God. Ring gangsters to sort shit out. God, what did I learn? What I should have probably done, because I go into this like mad work frenzy me, I'm always like, oh, sack it, I'll just do it myself, which is then, for me and my personal health, it's really stupid. And I know it, but I just do it anyway, because I'm a stubborn bugger. So instead of like cleaning it all myself, I should have got loads of people to come in, because really at the end of the day, it's just a few phone calls and just bigger bills. Do you know what I mean? But instead it was like us and a load of builders vacuuming roofs, and like it was just crazy, man. It was just stupid, to be fair. What did I learn? I learned that I had a good friend, because my mate who was doing it with me at the time, because it was a big site, that, and to have that sort of liquid to go into it, it's a lot of money, man. So it was a 50-50 venture with one of my best friends, and he could have gone, no way am I going into business with you now because of this, but he was like, do you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and there was a few people that just turned up and helped. There was a couple of people, I'll never forget that. Stuff like that makes me feel really emotional, because I don't have much of that. I feel like crying saying stuff like that, do you know what I mean? Because straight away there's like floods of tears when I have people that show that they care. Do you know what I mean? I had a pal that's a very good friend now, who came, didn't say, oh, just got a vac and cracked on. And I'm like, fucking hell, I'm a lucky person. Do you know what I mean? To get that, because I don't feel like I've got enough of that, but I've got probably like 3 or 4 people that are like that now, that are there for me. And it means a lot of stuff like that. It does.
I can see it, mate. Definitely. And that's what it's all about, isn't it, mate? It's having those special relationships in your life.
Oh, this is it. You only need a few that are like that, and it's
you do.
very powerful, man. Do you know what I mean? It is.
No, definitely. I can see how much that means to you. I've never seen you.
Mate, I could cry. Honestly, I could cry quite a lot, actually, because, like I say, I am very like an emotional person. I'm very emotional. And I want to just make people happy. I don't think people want to hear about me and my like issues. Do you know what I mean? I'm supposed to be like the person that shits sunshine and rainbows, not the person that like adds even more depression.
I think though, in my opinion, I feel like people would benefit from that side of things, personally.
I'm an open book. I just don't kind of put it on.
No, I know,
Do you
but
know what I mean?
you don't need to put it on people. But I feel like there is a side of Ben that people see, but then this other side that you've obviously showed and opened up about on this episode. And I feel like people would benefit from that, because for me, the message is always that mental health can get anybody at any time. And it is okay not to be okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think there's that many people struggling. A lot of people send me messages on Instagram and like, do you know what, that really helped today? So I'm like, I'm kind of always trying to be like motivating and stuff like that. And
Yeah. Well, having that vulnerable side though,
Yeah.
it can be as motivating as trying to motivate
you
somebody.
see, I suppose I don't see that, because I just see it as like weakness, and like I need to sort that shit out so I can still help other people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But look at Tom's Talks though. Tom's Talks is me standing up in front of an audience saying that at one point I wanted to kill myself. And the people from there see this guy, 6'5", wearing a suit, you know, thinking, fucking hell, if somebody that looks like that can have a bad day, then it's fine for me to have a bad day. Same with you, you know, good-looking guy, tattoos, business owner, entrepreneur. People, again, see you as this guy that's never had any problems, but yet you've opened up about, you know, losing your dad, having this issue with self-worth, validation, you know, all these events that have happened in your life. You know, of course it's going to affect you. But equally, opening up about it, people would resonate with that, I think.
Like I say, just putting it on my story and stuff, I feel like it's almost like giving me more attention. And I feel like if I'm going to do that, it should be making people laugh at least. Or do you know what I mean? I kind of want to be that person that cheers people up, not like, I don't really, as much as it's nice getting a load of messages off random people going, oh, it's all right, this. I just think like, they've got their own shit to deal with. You don't want to hear about my shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I might speak to someone like you if I needed help from that side of things. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I suppose it's having things in common with somebody. Like, obviously, I run a business and it's stressful and it's difficult. And if you speak to somebody else that runs a business and it's stressful and it's difficult, you can sort of relate to somebody a bit more.
You got it,
rather than opening up to a load of people that might not understand, maybe.
This is the thing, I try my best to kind of filter my social media to be a bit more relatable, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't be myself because I'll end up in newspapers. I think I'm funny, I'm probably not. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, I think I'm the most hilarious person ever, and I loved the like boarding school days of just being just a clown. I love that side of things. I should have probably been a comedian, but that side of me's probably like disappeared because I've just been broken by everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, man, I'm just broken. Do you know what I mean? Like, because, like I say, because I take everything so personally, and then I just decide to kind of brush it under the carpet and be like, go on, keep smiling.
How do you fix that though?
God, sell everything, go away. But then my other half always says there's no way you'd ever retire because you're just a hooligan. You just want to keep going and keep going.
How long have you been with your partner for? Your wife?
Quite some time now. So my daughter is 5, my oldest, and my son's 2 and a bit. So yeah, a good 8, 9 years. Do you know what? Yeah, from the gym, because we met, and at the time when I was doing the first gym, I was like, this is the worst possible time we could ever meet because you deserve all the attention in the world. I'm not going to be able to give you any because I need to crack on with this and I need to be successful. It's a must. It's not a when. It's now. I need to crack on. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, she's definitely supportive because she sees that I don't really get anything like family. I've got a couple of friends that support me, but other than that, no, and that's what we do it for. I had obviously a health scare recently and I was like, holy shit, like if I die tomorrow, I need to make sure these lot are sorted. So all my money goes to the kids. I'm buying houses for the kids now, just in case, because I do worry about dying. Do you know what I mean? I've got defibs in the gym because I think I'm going to be the one that has an heart attack because stress gets me. Do you know what I mean? Because I do. And do you know what? That's something that you kind of, when you tell yourself something, you know, all the time, one of these days it's going to happen. I know it is. Do you know what I mean?
Like manifestation.
This is it. And I just don't want it be in like at home doing some cardio or something and my kids to find me. Do you know what I mean? I know that sounds so extreme, but honestly, mate, like I'm not in a good way. You know what I mean? I'm not. And I know I'm not. And this is why I'm always at bloody doctors and all the rest of it. But at least I know, and I'm not being that stubborn not to try sort myself out. Do you know what I mean?
So going back to then, how do you resolve that issue? You know, you said sell everything, but in terms of a practical sense?
Probably get more filters in place because, like I say, I do take it personally. You know, I get a lot of people messaging me on Instagram and Facebook requesting things at gyms, right? So let's say if I think something's really good, I might buy a new machine. I like the old one. Why are you doing that for? That isn't how to run your business. All right, what's this person do? Cleaner. Right, okay, get you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that changing room doesn't work. Rip it out, start again. Oh, that changing room.
Well, the lockers are pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, the lockers are good. Oh, that changing room I just spent like 50 grand on at Sadler's. Tell you what, let's rip it out. Do you know what I mean? Like, all that sort of like negative stuff. It's bad. That's why I try my best to send voice notes because messages can be taken the wrong way, man. Honestly, if I'm in a bad mood and someone sends me something like that shit, I'm like, motherfucker.
You know, I think though, like, there's obviously you've said that you've got 2 or 3 close friends. Like, you wouldn't take criticism from somebody you wouldn't take advice from. And it's easier said than done because, again, like I said, we're wired to focus on the negative. But again, from my own personal experience, when I've got certain people. Like my message, I try as much to be as positive as I can, and it comes from a place of vulnerability. But you get that one dickhead that comments something, and I will always say to myself, at first it would hurt me, but now I read a comment, like for example, this will make you laugh. So all they said, you'll see the clips that I do in front of kids at schools of me talking. It's just clips, right? Somebody commented saying, "I'm sure these kids have been like edited in. This is shit, just like all your other speeches." And I was like, didn't have a profile picture.
I don't read comments.
Just
for that.
And
Just for that.
And I was just like,
oh my God.
I just said, this guy must be having such a bad day.
And have so much time on his hands. So you've got to feel sorry for people like that.
But then I was like, obviously I read it and I was like, oh, all right then. But then I thought, I don't know who you are. I wouldn't take advice from you, so I'm not going to take this criticism. But if my best friend, Lloyd Bradley Elliott, said something like...
It's going to hit you.
I remember they called me out once. I was... I'm not the weakest bladder known to man. I was on a plane and I really needed a wee, and this guy was the air host, wouldn't let me go to the toilet. I was a little bit rude, and I knew that at the time. And they both called me out.
Yeah, they were like, "Listen, man, not like, called for, dickhead."
He's just doing his job. And I apologised straight away. I said, "I'm really sorry, mate. I've just really needed
You need that to get in check sometimes, don't you?
But they both called me out on it. That's why they're my best friends. And it's like, for me, if you can always have that in your head, like maybe similar to yourself, rather than there's somebody saying something shit in the gym.
Yeah, so get immune to the stuff that doesn't matter, really.
Because it does it. No matter who you are. Like you said, like...
At what stage do you get immune to it, though? You know what I mean? But I know what you're saying, though. Yeah, look at it. You know what? They're probably having a bad day. Same as when people beep at you in the car over nothing. You're like, how sad must their lives be if you're having a go just because you can't drive, pal? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
What else then? How else can you fix this?
Lots more therapy. I did actually start going to a really good therapist. And,
did you find it worked?
A little bit, but then it just dragged loads of stuff up. I just kind of...
You didn't want to drag it up?
Kind of. I've been to see a few, and I go through stages of like self-help. Do you know what I mean? I'll do all the, not meditation, but listen to a few like positive things to maybe like sort myself out and go on health kicks. But then it just ends up, stress will just get me one day, and then I'll just like go back to... Yeah, man. You know what I mean? It's a vicious cycle. It's a bit like vaping. I'll vape when I get to the point of like super stress. I own gyms, man. I shouldn't be vaping. I know. It's like, I want to die. Do you know what I mean? That might as well be what it's like. I know how unhealthy it is. Do you know what I mean? And like diazepam. Honestly, mate, my cupboard at home is literally a pharmacy because doctors have given me so much stuff. Propanol for bloody blood pressure and this and diazepam and this. So I'll just take a load and vape myself to like oblivion so I'm not even here. Do you know what I mean? I get to that point. And I said to my other half the other week, I came off all these drugs because my liver was like packing in. And she went like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "I feel like a recovering drug addict because I've numbed myself to the point so nothing affects me." You know, when you have some diazepam and you have some blood pressure meds, you're like a mon. Throw vape in the mix, mate. I might as well not be here. I might be just like, do you know what I mean? But that's the point where I feel like I need to do to stop me from having the heart attack. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm just juggling so many plates. I've just managed to get a new manager to come in to help, hopefully, to kind of be a buffer so it doesn't hit me. Every time I go away, for example, I'll have big emergencies all the time, every day there's a big emergency, do you know what I mean? But I need someone not to run it by me unless someone's died in the gym. Just, can someone deal with this so then I can be happy again and then I can crack on again, do you know
Find you a solution
before
they tell you the problem.
You got it, man. Initiative. And I have an incredible manager called Abby who's just phenomenal, but I feel so bad for her because I delegate her so much. She's just overworked as well. So I'm like, we need help here. Do you know what I mean? So I've found someone that ran like 3 total fitnesses and she's coming on board very soon. So hopefully that's going to be the key so I can start doing stuff I enjoy. Because instead of going self-help route, because it was taking so much time and I thought that was a waste of time and I went back to business mode. I do this up, down, business, self-help. I got a business mentor who set up private ambulance company at the age of, I don't know, something what, but he sold it for absolutely millions and he's been really helping me solve issues I have with work. So he's recruited this person and Fingers crossed that's going to be what I need, because he says, look, you should be doing the stuff you enjoy. You should be buying all the stuff to give out to your members, and you should be finding the next site. You should be doing this. You shouldn't be in the weeds. You've done that for long enough.
Working on the business, not in the business.
You got it, man. Because I just do that straight away. Oh, sack it, something needs clean, I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? Like I shouldn't really be doing that. But then I think it's quite humbling for members seeing me do the, lifting machines and cleaning stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because they know, they see how much I care about it. Because the gym is my happy place. Do you know what I mean? And I want it to be my happy place. I don't want it to keep making me miserable. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the way it's going. I'm getting to the point now where I'm almost losing the passion for it, because people have just sucked it out of me. Do you know what I mean? But something's wrong. That's why. So if I put it right, then I can love it again.
Yeah. No, I get that, mate. I get that. You've then gone on to do the recovery centre. Yeah. Which is awesome. Yeah, you did the weekend. I love that.
That was a nightmare. That was an absolute nightmare.
I remember you telling me,
Jesus.
I need some furniture. I need it next week. I was like, fucking hell, man.
Man.
And then about 2 months later, I said, Johnny, is it open yet?
No, honestly. So
what was the issues with that then? What was
the floor. So the ice baths are so heavy. The ice baths are about as heavy as a mini, the old original minis.
Wow.
Yeah,
they're not cheap either, are they? What, like 3 or 5?
No, I mean they were $7.5 a piece.
Really?
Yeah. So the whole recovery centre cost 197,000.
Wow.
And I thought I could do it with 50. So 4 times as much, which always happens. If I was doing a gym, I'd be fine. I'd know everything about it. Because it was a completely new concept, it was all alien to me. I didn't realise, in a house that you had to have, X amount of strength to put baths above it, for example. It's exactly the same. It's on a second floor. So we started doing this recovery centre, and this structural engineer said, yeah, fine, it'll be all right. And then literally a week after we put all stud walls up and we cracked on, he was like, actually, how much do them ice baths weigh? I was like, this much, a lot, like a ton a piece, yeah, crazy, filled, and then with a person in it. I mean, you're what, 100 kg maybe? Do you know what I mean? Like, plus you in it, it's a lot of weight, times 2 upstairs.
Plus the sauna.
You got it, yeah, sauna, that bloody massage bed, 57 grand, that bloody massage bed. That's eye-watering, that, innit? It's a Range Rover. Crazy, isn't it?
How does that work then? Because I didn't get a chance to use that.
That's best thing there, mate. So it's hydrotherapy massage bed, yeah. So it's basically water jets, and it susses out where your body is, and it just basically massages your body. So hands-free massage, yeah. So there's only one of them in London. So we cracked on. And then he went, no, actually what we're going to have to do is rip the whole floor up, crane some girders in and do the floor. And I'm like, oh my God, but I've just spent 20 odd grand, like stud walling. Marvellous. So we'll do that. And then, just everything was against us on that one, honestly. So it took probably 9 months more. We had leaks, we've had all sorts. There's been loads of stuff happen that I didn't put on social media just in case. I can talk about it now. Like, we had so many leaks, especially with them ice baths. So once we actually put them in place, we disintegrated an antique shop below us, like destroyed. I'm not joking. Saw a video. It was the whole roof had fallen down. It's pissing in with water. It were bad, man. So I had many late nights over there, somehow trying to suss out how to get these ice baths from not flooding the place. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, now we're open. The interesting thing about this that's caused me a lot of anxiety, no one's done how I wanted it to be done. I thought, right, the gym works like this because people just scan, they come in, they do what they want. I hate booking anything. It's just annoying. You know, if I've just been to the gym with you and we've had a good session, we've next meeting in for an hour, should we just pop for a quick sauna session? I want that. Just be able to walk in, no booking. Every recovery centre in the UK that's popped up, it's all booking systems. I didn't want that. I wanted to just be able to rock up and enjoy it like a spa. Do you know what I mean? But you don't have to, book your time slot. So as a result, I was a bit like, how many members are going to be all right to come in? And, I wonder if people actually want it. They say they want it, but sometimes they don't. They won't actually sign up when it comes to actually signing up to it. So in the first, I think it was 3 days, we had 50 sign-ups. So that was a bit like, oh my God, brilliant. Till we're at 100, we're at 80 as of this morning, then I can breathe because that's my break even. That's all it needs. Do you know what I mean? 100 members and we're sorted at that. So it's going well so far. I'm really happy with it. Would I do another one? Probably not, because water sucks. Water is just annoying. It's just, honestly, man, if there's a crack in anything, it's going to find its way out. Do you know what I mean? So if I was going to do another like spa or recovery centre, I'd find a unit that was on the ground floor somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Straight onto concrete and not upstairs. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
what's what's next then? Because obviously, as you've said, there's always something new. There's always something next.
I need to sort myself out first, big time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I'm on with a load of houses at the moment, just like residential properties, little ones for the kids, just in case I do clip my clogs. Not that I do it myself, but just in case my heart decides, nah, I need a break here. See you later, pal. So I'm on with some houses, and then I will look at gym number 3. That might be it for me with the gym side of things.
Where are you thinking location?
I've been thinking like Elland, Halifax way, or like Manchester direction, a bit further, as long as it's within 30 minutes, because I like to be hands-on. I like to go, I like to see, I like to quality control, because I need to make sure everything's good. Sometimes, like last night, I just like to rock up with a load of money's worth of drinks and hand them out. So like Honley, I had loads, I always have like at least 20 packs of like Monster and Red Bull at home in the garage, ready. And if I need a bit of, I'll look at CCTV, if I need a bit of a pick-me-up, I'm a bit down, I'll look at CCTV, I'm like, Honley's well busy, I'm going. So I'll get like 5 packs of Monster, because no other gym does that. I like that. The amount of money I spend on giving stuff out to members is just bonkers. No other gym does that. And that's come from Body Power, if you remember that back in the day.
Yeah.
Everyone went to Body Power for free shit. And I'm like, how about I be the gym to hand the free shit out all year round? Do you know what I mean? So I'm the one that has parties and giveaways and all the rest of it. Everyone tries to copy me. I do it most often, do you know what I mean? So last night, rocked up, dished out loads of stuff. I need to be able to do that when I want to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if something's too far away, if it's
something Penistone at one point.
Yeah, honestly, anywhere really.
Pennistone's only half an hour from Honley, isn't it?
Well, exactly, as long as it is like...
Penistone's would be a cracking area for a good gym like the unit.
Yeah.
Because it's an affluent area.
Yeah.
And there ain't a good gym in Penistone.
Yeah, it needs to be the right sort of people, because the wrong sort really do rub me up the wrong way, do you know what I mean? Like, they're the ones that get to you most. I don't know why, because they shouldn't. It should be...
Well, I'm sure though, Penistone's similar to Honley though.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
I'd say it's like a relatively affluent area within an area.
Yeah.
And there isn't a gym. You've got Bannatynes, but that's not like,
it's not a proper gym.
It's not a proper like bodybuilding gym, is it? No.
Yeah, I mean, would we be classed as a bodybuilding gym? I think we're a bit of a hybrid.
That's it. Yeah. It's not like you walk in, you've got a load of roiders. Like
exactly, that puts people off. I actually aimed for the ladies more than anything else, to be fair, and then the guys kind of follow, because ladies are a lot more sort of anal about everything. You'll see it in the dress sense. A girl will come in a full matching outfit. A guy will come in some shorts he hasn't washed for a week and a Fruit of Loom t-shirt and not give a shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, they just don't care.
Yeah.
You do, but you look the part. Do you know what I mean? But most guys just aren't bothered.
So what's wrong with my matching outfit?
Nah, yeah. Well, I think a lot of people will come in and they won't really look at the roof. They won't look at the floor. They won't look at all the niceties and the cleanliness of it. Girls do. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm so overboard with like cleaning and you know what I mean?
You know the difference though, like I'll know the difference in the people that go at 6 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the morning. Like when you go at 6 o'clock in the morning, no one really gives a shit what they're wearing because they're just there to train, get it done.
Yeah, get it done.
If you've got 5 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever, you can like, it's like more of a, you go into show people what you're like. I don't know, is it?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah, I'm with you. And I see a lot of that, because obviously there's this body dysmorphia and all this sort of shit at the moment. I think people are raj because of Instagram, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, so I see it big time in the gym. Some girls that you'll see on Instagram, especially with hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff, they'll be really super confident online, but then you meet them in person and they've shat themselves, probably because they've had that much negativity sent their way. Do you know what I mean? So they're like me, broken. Do you know what I mean? So I think they're just like scared of everyone. You know what I mean? And
what time of the day do you normally train?
First thing, to be fair, I'll usually have a client at about 9 o'clock every day. Yeah, so I'll go in. Well, it's relatively quiet. I think if I was training at 5 p.m, a lot of people would be grabbing my attention. Do you know what I mean? They'd be like, "Oh, what about this? Do you want? What you should do is buy one of these." I'm like,
"Too busy at 5 o'clock."
Well, exactly. I like to get it done. And yeah, I don't really have the juice in the tanks at the end of the day. I'm just dead to the world. Do you know what I mean?
You've got a lot. Personally, I have a lot more energy throughout the day as well if I get it done first thing.
Yeah, too right.
There is a closing tradition on this podcast. There's a question that I ask.
Is it an easy one to answer? What are you going to do about yourself? Sort your life out, pal.
If you could go back to 12-year-old Ben, the day after your dad's passed away, and have one last conversation with him, what would you say?
Be happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do the shit now that my dad probably did for my kids, so they don't have to do it, because I would hate my kids to have my life. I really would. It's not a life that, I don't know why people would ever want to be me, for sure. Do you know what I mean? Because you couldn't cope. Do you know what I mean? Honestly. You couldn't. I can't. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'd just say, yeah, try focus on the good, not the bad. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it's an interesting one. I'll be thinking about that all rest of the day now whilst I'm trying to crack on with work. I'm like, what would I actually tell myself? Self-love, that's what I need in my bloody life.
Eternal self-worth.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely.
Ben, I love the gyms that you've got.
Thank you, mate.
You've done a cracking job. You've done some incredible things within business. And I think you should definitely be proud of yourself.
Try,
You've
mate.
done amazing.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Appreciate it, mate.